Hi. Hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was too busy reading our book. Welcome to this episode of the Business Building Book Club. I'm your host Molly from Visibility Hacking Studios, and
Yes.
today I don't just have my favorite people. I have my favorite people and my new favorite book, and
Oh
we're going to
yeah.
chat about it. We're going to get into it. But
Yeah.
before we get into the wonderful book, who do I have with me? Mark, we had you last week, so introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. I'm so happy to be here. I'm pumped about reading the book. My name is Mark. Um, I run a digital marketing agency called The Mental Marketer, and all business owners, entrepreneurs, business, brand. We're actually probably in the try, fail, analyze, and adjust season right now. So, but yeah, that's me. I'm glad to be here. Thanks. Glad to be here with both of you guys. Lefty.
Yes, my name is Lefty, the sales video Jedi. Some of you might have seen me from various episodes of Friday Night Live, but I am your video Jedi, the guy who is going to create amazing promotional advertisement, commercials, video sales letters, and short form content. And I'm a YouTuber as well, finally. And I'm so excited to be here. I picked up this book. Thank you, Molly. I just so happy that this thing came in and I started picking it up and reading it.
Yes.
And let's just dive into it. Let's do this.
Absolutely. So, okay, before we crack the book open again, I just want to remind everyone watching that there's different ways that you can purchase this book, none of which are affiliate offers. I'm just going to give you the best place to get this copy of your book to get the most value. So you could find this book at your local bookstore. Fantastic. Support your local shop. You can find it on Amazon. Fine. Get it shipped to you. Prime. Whatever. But honestly, the best, biggest value when you're purchasing this book is to buy it directly from Derral Eves. You get to experience his awesome funnel, but most importantly, not only do you get the book, the physical book shipped to you, you also get a companion course that has a ton of great videos. And imagine we're talking about YouTube. There's only so much that you can talk about in text form that is so much better explained in video format. So definitely check it out. Purchase your copy of the book. I recommend directly through Derral Eves so you can get access to not only the book, but the companion course as well. So, all right,
Yes.
that's my hashtag not sponsored,
Awesome.
not an affiliate ad. All right, so we are diving into part one. Last episode, Mark and I chatted about, we read up on what Mr. Beast wrote in the foreword. We talked about comparing yourself to other creators and whether or not that's the right thing to do because they're meeting different markets. But then again, there's also things that we can understand both from how other creators are gaining attention of new audiences, how they're keeping attention, but also how they make money on the back end. That's always what we love to talk about. So
Mhm.
today, chapter one, part one,
Mhm.
try, fail, analyze, and adjust, a YouTube history lesson. Do you want me to start reading?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Have you ever watched the first video uploaded to YouTube?
Yeah.
It's an important question. No, really, it matters. I don't think it matters just because I'm a YouTube expert and I think it's high quality content. Spoiler alert, it is not. I think it matters because it's history and we can learn so much from history. As a video guy, I love documentaries and biopics. These they fascinate me because learning about the past helps us understand and navigate our world in the present. When we explore history, we see how decisions and events affect people, whether good or bad, and how they impact people's
Mhm.
families, communities, and ultimately the entire world. But why the heck am
Ha-
I talking about the
Have
impact
you?
of history on the world in a book that's supposed to be about YouTube and making money? I'll tell you why. Studying the history of anything can benefit someone who wants to learn more about the topic and succeed in that space. It should be obvious that the same applies to YouTube creators as well. I truly believe that if creators and businesses will take the time to learn from YouTube's history, how it became the mega platform that it is, based on decisions that led to failure and success, they will become better content creators and businesses and be more equipped to generate their own success on the platform. So, how did YouTube start? And how does it affect you and your content? In July 2002, the prestigious startup company PayPal had just been acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion with a B. This created a lot of buzz in Silicon Valley. Ideas were being tossed around for websites, apps, platforms that would possibly bring in a lot of money and transform the world into a digital money-making giant. 3 PayPal employees, whose names I am bad at pronouncing, were some of these idea generators. They soon came up with the idea for the YouTube website, but it was nothing like the website we're familiar with today. They started it as a dating website.
That blew my mind, actually.
Who
I
knew
was
that?
like, wow.
I had heard that before, but just having that reminder that it was a dating website started by already proven brilliant people who have like the background. Jeez.
Do you know what's interesting about this? Imagine the dating portion of this and this idea that they had. Imagine this was the thing that took off, and YouTube to this day never existed. Like,
Oh my God.
just think of a world right now without YouTube.
It's crazy. Let me ask, have you seen the very first video that he talks about here?
I did not get a chance to watch it yet. No.
Oh, you
Yeah.
haven't? Oh, I have. It's kind of funny.
Is it like bad? Is it
No. Well, okay. So he's at the zoo. He's at the San Diego Zoo, and there's an elephant in the background. And I think he said that he actually
right here.
he makes an innuendo. And I won't give away the innuendo he makes, but I know he says, "What more needs to be said?" It's interesting. It's interesting that Derral talks about the history, and he said that, and he from the beginning he talks about how important the history of it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's he's teaching from chapter 1.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. There's so many books out there that are like, read until chapter 10 where I give you all the information. And it's like, oh my God, no, this guy goes right into it. Once you can pass the intro, and I think there's like a thank you page to like his wife or something, like once you get past those first like 20 pages, it goes right into it, dives deep. But let's talk about history for a second, right? Because
Okay.
I notice that I do this a lot. I always look, and because I'm not somebody that goes live very often, Molly, you actually just introduced me into the whole live thing, but me being somebody that creates fabricated content, I'm always looking at my last video. What did I do? How can I make it bigger? How can I make it better? What can I add? What can I take out? And I think that's what he's referring to when he's talking about history, is just like, look back at your older stuff and see how you can like not reinvent the wheel, but reinvent your own wheel, right? For what your business is. And I think that's really cool that he brings that up.
And looking at how a platform has evolved also allows us to see what has worked in the past, because just like fashion, when it comes to trends on YouTube and other social platforms, those trends come back. They will come back. And if you understand what worked, and also if you look at different platforms, if you understand the history, for example, Vine was huge for a while, and then it completely disappeared off the map. And people are like, oh, too bad for those content creators. People will never take on to short form video. Hello? That
Yeah.
trend just needed to come right back around. We needed other platforms to figure out how to deliver that content on a mass level. And bam, now we have Vine back again, but in way
It,
better forms.
I just
it
think
make,
their downfall was 6 seconds. You were
Mhm.
limited to 6 seconds. I think that was their only downfall. If they gave everybody at least 15 to 30 seconds, I think Vine would have been a huge game changer.
But check out, it was like a year ago, Lefty and I had a conversation about short form video where like he scared the bejesus out of me because he's like, oh, just because you have a minute doesn't mean you need to use a minute.
That's
People are
true too.
creating 8 second shorts and they're taking off. And it's true. We've been testing that on our channel. The videos that we put out that are a minute long versus the
uh-huh,
ones that are like 8 seconds long. I have a video that is one of my highest views at this moment, and it's a
eight,
blooper from another video that
yeah,
I have where I'm just going,
really,
okay, I think it'll work, and
really,
that has like
really,
thousands of views. Like I don't get it, but yeah.
really, real quick, Lefty, tell how long have you been on YouTube? How long has your channel been there? And do you mostly produce content or do you go live as well?
So this specific channel has been around for a few months. It's fairly new. I did have a channel back 5 years ago, and then YouTube. Cool thing, fun fact for those of you that don't know, if
Uh-huh.
let's say you decide to do a brand change on YouTube, YouTube actually allows you to take all the existing data and transfer it to a new channel. And it's like I
Really?
forgot what it's called, but it's like a channel swap essentially. So
Hmm.
this way, if you start a new business or you just want to rebrand yourself, you don't have to worry about starting from zero. You can take all the subs, all the watch time hours, all the videos, all that. I back
Hmm.
then was a little bit of a noob, and when I went to do the transfer, I deleted my entire channel. So I, I literally was just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing it. I'm not going back. I don't want to start from zero, and I just left it. I left it for 4 years.
Uh,
This channel is brand new. Like I said, started a couple months ago, and then when I decided to I started to really understand the importance of it again. And that was due to the, I guess, volatility that I saw in other platforms. And
mhm.
I was like, okay, hold on a second. I need to go full throttle in this. As to
Okay.
live, I mean, I haven't gone live on YouTube yet. I do lives on Instagram. Primarily, Instagram is where I'm most comfortable doing lives, which is, I guess, because I'm more familiar with how the system works. Um, but it doesn't mean that I won't go live at some point on YouTube or anywhere else. I think mainly for me, I'm not a good presenter when it's just like right there.
Uh,
I'm a good presenter when it's scripted, it's ready
prepared.
and prepared. That could be a downfall of mine, believe me. But I also come from the film industry. So I come from an industry where everything is scripted, fabricated. It's like if something is meant to be in the frame, it's there for a reason. It wasn't an accident. Like that's like I come from that world. So because of that, I feel like, that's why when it comes to going live.
My favorite was that Lefty
Okay.
used to be obsessed with Instagram Reels. Like that was his only thing. And he was like avoiding YouTube for the longest time
Really?
until we created some pieces together and I was like, I'm posting them sometimes on Instagram, but we get 5 times as much traction when we post them as YouTube Shorts. And so I slowly introduced Lefty to the world of YouTube and YouTube Shorts and I am so glad that
Yes.
that he was able to break into that space because man, oh man, is he doing
Yeah.
well. Like, oh, yeah.
Thank
If we
you.
talk
Thank
about
you.
like last week, we talked about the medium is the message, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
like Lefty's content is a great example of that. His package that he creates his content around,
Mhm.
the visuals of his content are stunning.
Yes,
And
I've
that's
seen.
also the product that he sells is I can help you look this great. So
Yes.
I think YouTube is the perfect platform for Lefty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Glad to have you back this time, Lefty. All right. How
Thank you.
yeah, you excited to really take it off this time? Like,
Yeah, you know what? I have a goal. I have a goal that I really want that silver play button by the end of this year.
Ooh.
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see. I mean, if for anybody watching, if you want to support that vision, by all means. But I mean, yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal to get the and I mean, if it happens in December, fantastic. But I'm talking about like I'd even be happy if it happened by February 1st, 2024. So I'll give myself like an entire year, you know?
That's awesome.
Nice.
Here's the update, guys. I am 16 people away from hitting 500. So
Yeah.
we have like
Woo!
11 days or 12 days. So
Woo! If you're watching this, come that's 16. If you're watching this, then that'll be 15 after you watch this, right?
exactly.
That's
You
it.
subscribe if you're watching and then go get your 15 closest friends to subscribe as well.
Yeah.
Yes, fire content
Love
coming
it.
from your channel, Molly. Fire content.
Oh, thank you. All right, guys. Shall we do we want to skip past a little bit of this? Because we've already talked about
Well, you know
the
what?
Valentine's Day dating video.
Yeah, so oh yeah, me at the zoo. Okay. So this talks about he started YouTube on Valentine's Day. Um I'd say yeah, let me see. Let's see here.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. So we know that they created a dating video. We know that they wanted to create the platform as a dating website. So YouTube was about connecting people from the moment they started, but it was just connecting people in a different way. So they upload this video from the zoo. They're talking about how much it costs to host videos on different platforms, and they're like, "Oh, that's not so good." So then, at this crucial juncture, the team had a decision to make. Should they continue to push YouTube as a dating website as planned, or should they change their business model entirely because the data showed that the usership was not the I want to date crowd? Forget the
Mhm.
dating aspect, said Chen. Let's just open it up to any video. Herein, the power of YouTube was born. Based on the data feedback, they switched gears and catered to what users wanted. That is what I love about YouTube, the platform. It
Mm,
allows us to see all of that data and use that
Mhm.
to create content to better connect with our people in a very niche way. It's literally how is your community of viewers engaging with your content and how can you deepen that connection? Well, we literally have the data to back it up, which is so cool. So what are you guys what's your experience with data and modifying your content and seeing what like following the data? What has that process been like for you guys? Mark, you go
cool.
first.
That's interesting because that was going to be one of my questions. It's, name a time when you've had to kind of pivot after analyzing some data on YouTube. And I pivoted recently after reading this book. I went and I think I talked about last week. I put together after because I've already listened to the entire book. So I put together some key performance indicators. And one of those key performance indicators was the videos that have gained me the most subscribers.
Yep.
So I went and I looked at those videos that have gained the most subscribers for my channel. And what I found was that people are on YouTube are interested in learning about Facebook, at least
Yeah.
from my channel.
Mm,
And I said, okay, that's those are the videos and subscribe. And I'm yeah. Uh, so I said, hey, let me put these into a playlist. Let me
Yeah.
grab these videos and put them in a easy to watch playlist so that I can let them binge watch those episodes. it's been something that's helped my my viewership grow as well.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. What about you, Lefty?
I mean, I'll be honest, like sometimes I could barely even read like a Bitcoin chart. So I mean, there's just so many freaking charts to like look at. You open it and it's just like bam, 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 bam in your face. But I think I think because you like YouTube, for example, it plays heavy on retention rate, right? So that is the chart that I'm focusing on the most. So I really want to see, okay, if we're like I want to see where people dropped off, and then that's where I make my pivots, right? I say, okay,
And
this is pretty like this could have been done better. This I could have maybe switched the lingo up. I could have done this. I could have done that. Now, my last video, which is not like an 8, 10, 15-minute video like my other ones, it was 3.5 minutes. People fell off at like a minute 45. I look at that as almost a 50% retention rate. I think that's pretty badass.
that's not bad.
So I'm like, okay, in that regards, that's pretty good. But does that mean that all my videos now should be 3 to 5 minutes? No. But I like just kind of like testing that out because everything else is weird. Even with how YouTube like pays you, it's weird. Like I was at like one point and then all of a sudden it's like I dropped a few bucks and it was like, and then all of a sudden my watch hours dipped and it's like, how does a watch hour dip? It doesn't
Yeah,
make sense.
that was a glitch that was happening recently. A lot of creators were finding that, but it
Okay.
was actually small creators who brought that to the attention of larger creators who were able to touch base with their YouTube reps and whatnot. The larger creators weren't noticing it because it was a minute dip in
Sure.
subscribers. Like they ditched subscribers, they dropped watch hours, and they dropped there was something else that they dropped. But the small creators were like, yo, this is 5%. Like, this is a noticeable amount. The larger creators that weren't noticing. And so I was watching one of my favorite creators on the platform talking about history and watching them evolve is Philip DeFranco. And he does like this news show every day or
Okay.
most days of the week. And he's really building how he's engaging with his community. It's beautiful. There'll be an episode of one of my shows talking about that soon. But what's really neat is he's engaging with his community and his community's like, yo, what the hell's going on? This isn't good. This isn't good. We're seeing this. We're seeing this. And he then went into his analytics and noticed the exact same thing. So yeah, you're not alone in that one, Lefty. That was a glitch that happened.
Yeah. I was just like it, like I mean, at this point of the game, and I don't care. I'll be completely transparent. Like from the time I got monetized till now, which has been, I don't know, 5 weeks, let's say, it's like it's been nice to pretty much wake up every day and see like an increase of like 50 cents to $1.50 in my account, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then again, I'm a new creator. Like I don't expect to be making a buttload of money right away. But all of a sudden, it's like I just saw this dip and I was like, I don't understand. How do you take away watch time hours? And I can understand taking away revenue depending on the video that like maybe they flag something later on. But I mean, how do you take away watch time hours?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Really? Okay.
Unless
Okay.
they find out there's been a couple times that I've noticed where they found bots, like huge
Oh,
numbers of
sure.
accounts that are fake. And so those have been removed. Like there was, oh no, it was on Instagram, I think. There was once where they did a massive cull of these like bot accounts. And like, I don't want to like drop
Really?
names that are irrelevant, but there's like a big rapper, like an American rapper or something like that, who dropped like I would say 80% of his subscribers ended up being bots or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
the name. Drop the name.
Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't want to say someone's name who
We'll
wasn't
call him
involved,
Mr. X.
but like surprisingly a name that our generation would definitely know.
Lefty's having rich creator problems up there.
Mm-hmm.
Give him the money. No, honestly, besides that, I like at the end of the day, the money is awesome. Like it's a bonus. It's great to have. I'm sure it's going to be even better to have when I can just like have a income replacement and all that. But I honestly do it because I love it. Like I love filming. I love putting the edits together. And Molly, you know me, like I always talk about less is more.
Yeah.
Right. Like everybody from like the beginning of the year, we need to put 5 videos out a day, and I'm just always like, I'll put out a video a week. Like, you know,
quality over time.
Exactly. And even during that big storm, that big uproar of like, we got to put out 5 videos a week to keep up and like, number one, I guarantee you maybe only one of those 5 videos are actually being seen. So you're wasting your time completely. And two, putting out 5 a day, I can only imagine the quality of that video. It's probably garbage. Like let's be realistic. It's not like you're like Alex Hormozy or Chris Doe or any of these bigger guys who can record 1,000 pieces of content and then give it off to a major team where like 5 different editors are having a slap at like a few videos. So
and spent almost 6 figures just producing 800 pieces of content. I saw, I think.
Oh, Mark, you know what? I know this isn't like what this is for, but I just want to say something quickly about that.
Mm-hmm.
They're spending, I think, what did Alex say, like 70 grand on content?
I was gonna say 80, but I heard in that range.
Okay, because I don't know the exact number, but I know it's up there. So obviously Alex has the buying power. Let's excuse that for a second. Okay. You have people like him who are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, still spending almost 6 figures a month to get their content out and ready and good to make their brands look good. And you can't spend 5K on a video? Like, you know, like what makes your coaching business the Steven Spielberg of businesses? Why is a guy like him who doesn't even need to spend money is spending money? But everyone else in the lower level, in the trenches, feel like our shit don't stink.
Well said. Yeah.
Well, talking about camera quality, I just saw a comment on one of my recent shorts saying that my channel deserves more likes and views because my camera quality is stunning. Like,
Amazing.
that's what I like to hear. So on our channel, what we're doing is spending this year as a giant experiment. We were doing a small experiment last year, and this year we took those results and we're ramping them up 10x, like Mr. 10x, and turning it into like a much larger scale experiment. So we are the opposite of Lefty. Lefty is a minimalist, as you can tell by his background. I am a maximalist, as you can tell by my background.
Yeah.
So we're putting out a minimum of 3 shorts a day, every day, plus like 3 or 4 live streams a week, plus 4 or so regular YouTube videos. And then that's just YouTube. Then there's the other platforms. And what we're doing is creating different groups of content, different types of content that we're putting out there and seeing what works. So last year we would put out a single piece of content and then see what the analytics bring back on that one piece of content. This year we're putting out more content, like let's just say there's 10 videos that fit into the same content type so that we can test a couple different things. And when we learn from the first week of content, we'll then tweak that content group for the next week to see if we can tweak it just a little bit. We're seeing we're testing out conversation starters, super short videos that ask a single question versus content that's more scripted, that's more of the here's 3 tips on blah 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 blah, or let's bust a myth about blah blah blah, like the traditional short styles. And we're finding just really interesting information and engagement. And because my channel is in a very different space than both of your channels, because you guys are post 1K, I'm just hovering 16 people below 500, which would allow me a community post. Let me post more content, people.
I
That's
love
all
your
I want to do. I
Single,
want to
single
update you
digits,
more.
single digits after this video.
I'm
Yeah.
that's the plan, guys. Like, let me hit this milestone before the end of the month. That would be amazing. Amazing. I'm literally tracking it day by day. And my incredible assistant, Mark, shout outs to Mark, who's amazing.
Mark, baby.
We love Mark.
Yes.
um
I'll put
he's
it out there.
he's he's posting all of our content. It's fantastic, and he's tracking a lot of the analytics and the KPIs that we like. um yeah, I literally have a Bristol board, a black Bristol board. I've created a grid on it, and every month I'm tracking these different statistics, KPIs that YouTube will tell us, like what is your top rated video, where are you getting the most traffic. Those are the kinds of things that we're keeping an eye on. But also, I want to know from my production standpoint, how many shorts am I actually able to film and script and edit and post every month? How many connections and collaborative projects am I able to do as well? How many times am I able to reach out to new audiences through a JV partner or a content partner? And those, I love the data. There's just so much to look at, but it's so easy to be distracted by all that information as well.
Yeah.
So I like what Mark did and just wrote down, here are the KPIs I want to pay attention to help you stay focused. So I think I'm going to write that down on my board and just focus on maybe 5 or 3 key indicators and really focus on that. Just like YouTube, for a few years, their big push was watch time hours. That's all they cared about. How your videos were pushed out to the algorithm had only to do with one metric. So they busted through that metric. They blew that out of the water. And now they're expanding to different KPIs that they're looking at to push your videos through. So I think I'm going to take that focus and just kind of streamline down.
And Molly, I love your question videos. Like those, like I watch a lot of your stuff. I watch like probably 85% of it because there's
it's
so
great
many
content.
Things. Absolutely.
It is.
And I'm sad to say that it's not 100%, but that's because I get so many things in my feeds. But
yeah,
the question ones are the ones that like they just, it's like a zoom in, like it just sucks me in. Like it's a quick question. I'm like, I gotta respond to this. Oh my gosh. Like I love it. Honestly, whatever you're doing is remarkable. Like just keep it up. Like it's so good.
The question posts, I think they're really interesting because I didn't start by saying, okay, this content group is going to be conversation starter questions. I started by going way back to my why. Like, why am I creating content in the first place? Why am I on social in the first place? Why is this such a big, important part of my business? Well, I go back in history. So let's talk about history again.
Yeah.
If I go back to my history, I've always been a digital connector. Like I've always had my friends online. I've been a live streamer for over a decade. And this is, oh my goodness, it's been over a decade. Wow.
Over a
Wow.
decade.
I feel really old. But so I went back to that. What I loved about being online a decade or 2 decades ago even was the connection we could have, the conversations, the insight you could gather from meeting new people. We're so transactional now. So I created a series of content that is, let's make social media social again. And I am so glad that I took that process. I took a couple steps back. I looked at my history. Why am I here in the first place? And it is one of my like best content series that we have. So you guys, what if you looked back and had to create a series? Let's just talk short form content, easy to do. What would, if you looked back and looked at your why, how could you turn that into a content series?
Mark, you want to go first?
Sure. So for me, I look back and when I read this chapter, I'm looking at the years
Yeah.
2002. I haven't been on YouTube. I think I started on YouTube in about 2009, 2008, 2009. And I'm thinking, wow, I was in college in
Yep.
2002, but I was in a completely different path. I was working for an insurance company, but I think I always had this creative. You talk about your why, right? You talk about your why, Molly, and how you've always been a digital connector. And although I was in this insurance role, I always had a passion, and in the back of my mind, I don't know, something was put in me when I was young that I always wanted to have my own television show. I can go back and read my diary. Uh my diary. Hold on, let me show you something here.
Wow.
Nice.
My
Oh my
diary
goodness.
from my diary from 2002, and in that diary I wrote that I want to have my own show one day. But at the time, my thing was that I wanted to be a Tony Robbins, just
Yeah.
deep into personal development. Um, and so I'm making the point about what would that content series be about, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would be about my journey of actually having this goal from the beginning, and then going through completely different field, but then coming back around full circle.
Mhm.
And 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 the fact that YouTube is here today, I would never have imagined that something like YouTube would be available to me. It wasn't even in the realm of thinking,
Yeah.
and it wasn't in the realm of thinking. And now we talk about, what if they had kept it a dating website? And you said
Yep.
it, Lefty. What
Yeah.
would it be? What would we be doing now if they had not pivoted and created this awesome platform for the normal everyday person to actually be a creator without having to have this humongous budget, or uh, a production studio, and pay thousands of dollars to be on a television station late night?
Yeah. Yeah.
Late night when everyone's asleep.
That's
But
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a little of my why, and how I've progressed. Yeah, and any content series would go like that. Yeah.
That would be really cool because it takes that underlying theme of personal development, and you're sharing your journey along the way with that, always tying it back to, well, when you have a solid foundation of personal development, look at how your journey will change. Look at how much you can achieve, which is, I think,
Yeah.
really cool. Really cool. I would watch that.
Yeah, the heroes to journey.
Yeah, exactly.
The
All right,
journey
Lefty,
to
what's your why, and how would you make that into a
Ah,
content series?
like growing up, being a kid, being a like toddler, child, whatever, like I've always needed to be I've always felt like I needed to be like this, like center of attention, entertain the crowd kind of person, right? And
uh,
funny enough, that's what led me to DJing. And then I became a touring DJ. And then I started playing bigger shows. And I went from hundreds of people to thousands of people to tens of thousands of people. And I guess my why is, I always, like, one thing I said about DJing is my next performance always has to be better than my last performance.
hmm.
100%. Like, it doesn't matter if it was a small scale. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I was playing for like 30,000 people. It doesn't matter if I was playing for 30 people, right?
Yeah.
I always had to bring it 100%. And because I have this entertainer in me, like, I am an entertainer before I'm a video guy. I'm an entertainer before I'm a marketer. I'm an entertainer before I'm anything, really. So, and because I always had this bigger, badder mentality, it's like I brought that into like my business. Like, if you go on my landing page, you'll literally see at the top bigger, badder videos, right? So I think my why is just like I just want to entertain at all levels, whether you're watching a vlog, whether you're watching a short film, whether you're watching me rip it behind the decks, because I still have my I have my equipment right there beside me. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
whatever it is that I'm doing, entertainment comes first for me, and like I think, and I want to say I'm pretty good at sparking emotion. So I mean, that's why I do everything that I do.
And
What
you're
about
also fantastic
storytelling?
at helping other people step into that space as well. Like you have this superpower. Like actually you have like a whole bunch of superpowers you combine together, but
Mhm.
so Lefty helps me create some of my short content, and he'll come over, bring all of his fantastic equipment so I don't have to think about any of that. He brings his
Mhm.
own lighting and everything. I just show up with the background and hope that my pants don't rip in half, which they totally did. Oh my goodness,
That-
that was fun. But what Lefty's superpower really is because he spent so much time not trying to be, but successfully being that center of attention, holding people's attention, gathering people around him, getting them pumped up and excited. What you're missing there, Lefty, is your ability to transfer that energy to other people. So
Mm,
when Lefty comes over and we're filming, the content, if I was filming the exact same stuff by myself, it would come out completely different. There's a
mm,
different energy level there because Lefty brings out that excitement and that creativity and that the ability to push away all of those negative thoughts and those false beliefs about what your content's going to look like and
mm.
just show up as you authentically. I hate that word, but he brings out the best in the people that he works with and helps because he's a director, right? Like, and so he allows us to create the best content that's truly reflective of our own personalities and enthusiasm. So
Mm.
Lefty, I say
It,
more behind the scenes series, more of like, this is what I do to generate ideas. This is what we do to get started. This is why, like, yeah, you know.
it's interesting because you have a film background and then you have a DJ background.
He's the whole
What kind of
package.
were you like raving? Were you like were you like
Yeah,
doom,
so
doom,
I
doom,
was
doom?
so funny enough, I was a techno DJ. I was in the underground scene. That's where I was. I played a lot of underground clubs. I played a lot of venues even in Toronto because Molly and I are in Toronto, right? So
Uh,
I played a lot of venues that like we would probably know that don't even exist anymore. But
Yep.
nonetheless, when I was performing, I wasn't performing for an hour. Like my sets were like 3, 5, 7, even 8 hours long.
wow. Wow.
So imagine playing the same 808 kick with the same beat with the same bass line for 8 hours. It's not like I can go from rock to hip hop to pop to this to that. I'm playing house music for 8 hours. So that
Wow.
is how I truly learned how grabbing people's attention is so
Yeah.
important, because if I can keep you hooked for 8 hours playing the same repetitive beat over and over and over and over again, I can get you in anything.
DJing is a skill.
Absolutely.
It is definitely a skill. Uh, build up, build up, build up, drop.
Yep.
It
And
Yeah.
and maybe you bring that to your video production as well.
I do, because I have like 15 years experience in like audio engineering, right? So like
Mm.
while people are just sitting there going like, "Oh, yo, I'm going to put this in CapCut and just hit the voice isolation." I'm sitting there like this
Tweak, tweak,
this
tweak,
frequency
tweak.
has to come down and this and
There was
It's
a hilarious,
it's a whole
hilarious
musical.
conversation that happened between Lefty and my business partner Jim Beard about captions on shorts. So Jim is all about like, let's be efficient when we're making videos. And he's like, well, you know, you can auto transcribe things. You know, you don't have to like type them out. And Lefty's like, no, 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 no. I type out every single one of my captions individually because I want to make sure that they're perfect. I'm like, heck yeah, that's Lefty. That speaks to the quality.
Well, so it's interesting how different backgrounds can be brought, that skill that you've learned in those different backgrounds or what could be responsible for some level of success that you have. I've taken, I'm not a musical genius, but I've taken jazz improvisation, and what I learned was that, you know, when you have that hook, when you have the hook in that sound, and it's because we're expecting, you know, I think we are expecting something, and then when we don't get that note, wow, all right, I need to bring that to my video. That's how, maybe that's how you really keep someone on watching a longer time. Is that what you mean? If that's what, is that what you mean? I'm sorry, I'm using this as a
no,
like
I mean, ask away. It's fine. I mean, go ahead.
So when you look at your video time and you see them drop off, because you talked about this a little bit earlier, you see them drop off, and then you're thinking maybe I should add something in there, sort of like maybe like a musical note that you may have done being a DJ.
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually looked at it like that. Like, I don't look at I don't look at it as anything. Like, you know,
okay,
like saying I have superpowers and this and that and whatever. I mean, like, hold on a second. Wow, the lightning comes down. You know what I mean?
There's this lightsaber behind you.
Like, and you know what's funny? Because my wife thinks that my biggest flaw is the fact that I'm constantly oblivious. Okay, but I think the oblivious part is also a superpower of mine, because I don't have to try to do something. I don't have to try to be something I'm not. I just do. So when people are like, you know, believe me, I appreciate all the compliments in any way, shape, and form. But when I'm being told by my peers, you're great this, you're great that, I'm just doing what I do. Like, I'm not trying to be anything. I'm not trying to impress or anything like that. And I think that's the major point that like everybody has to bring into their content when they're making like YouTube or any type of videos, is like, don't look at someone else and be like, oh, I need to be like that. Like, just be yourself and just do you. And yeah, you're gonna have crappy comments come through. You're gonna probably you're gonna have people that are rude and mean, but at the same time, you're also gonna have people that are loving and caring. And I had this conversation with someone yesterday where it was like, this individual doesn't want to start YouTube for the sake of being humiliated. And the piece of advice that I gave was, outside of like, you know, certain AI that can detect words, the algorithm doesn't know a good comment from a bad comment. It just knows it as a comment. So respect, love the haters, because sure, you might get 2 good messages, but if you get 30 crappy ones, it doesn't mean you're crappy. You just have to thank all those people for pushing the algorithm.
So going off of that, I had a short that I released. It was one of the conversation starters. And the question was like, what was something that was a tough decision that you later regret? And the comment was, I have to give him props. It was a funny comment, but like, his comment was, watching more of your videos, cringe. And then it gets even better. It gets better because someone else commented on that comment saying, oh man, I'm glad you said it first. And then it gets better because they started this back and forth conversation thread. And so I come in like the next day, I'm like, wow, this video got a lot of views, and wow, there's more engagement than usual. And I just simply sat there and went, I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day after watching this 15-second video to to take the time to comment. I truly appreciate you taking that time out of your day. I really hope that you find content that better serves you. But thanks for the comment.
Thank
Because
you.
it
Thank you.
doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. A comment is a comment. It's a
Yeah.
piece of it's a piece of data in the algorithm. That's all it is. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
love it. Even likes and dislikes are the same thing. Because YouTube found that there were people there were videos that were discussing a certain topic that people were disagreeing with the topic, like a news story about something sad, for example. People were disliking that, even though it was great content. They were just sad about the topic. And so YouTube switched it up. Now, likes and dislikes are factored in very differently than they used to. And now both of them feed the algorithm in the same way. A piece of content that is getting a ton of dislikes is also just as likely to take off in the algorithm as something as a piece of content that's getting equal amounts of likes rather than dislikes. So yeah, but
yes.
don't purposely make horrible content, people.
Yes.
Focus on
No.
creating good
No.
stuff. Like
I think
we need more good stuff.
I think that was dying trend #1 in my latest video.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
I've had someone make a negative comment on one of my videos, and I had one of my subscribers come to defend me.
I love
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
love that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Create a short piece of
it's
content highlighting that. That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
I love that. I
Yes.
love that.
Yes. Love it.
All right.
Cool.
Shall we jump back into the book here?
Yes.
All right. Because this
Yeah.
part is a part that really speaks to my heart.
Okay.
So in June, they created tools that encouraged self-broadcasting. They supplied a growing ecosystem of whatever random videos were being uploaded by the people. They launched the embed video option that became a game changer for websites and promotion. In short, they gave self-video creators the platform and the control to share their videos with the world from anywhere in the world, because that's what the people wanted. The website users were not looking to hook up on YouTube. They were finding a place to put their work and their creativity.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like way back in the day on Molly's personal channel from like 2000 and something early, the way that we used to connect on YouTube, the way we used to use the platform was someone would post up a video. So I was in the DJing world as well. So my friend who lives in the States, he would post up a video of a mix that he was working on or a production that he was working on, and he'd ask for feedback. Like, that's exactly what we're teaching people to do right now. Ask for feedback, have that CTA, engage your community. So Sean is his name. So he would post his video and then we would post video responses. We didn't comment. We would post videos and post the link there. And then it would go back and forth. So we'd have these back and forth video conversations. I really wanted YouTube to create a way to better connect those, more like comments, and you can have the video embedded in the comments. But you know, I'm too forward of a thinker apparently. But it was
awesome.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was
That is a
more
good
video
suggestion.
based. But that's what we used to do back in the day.
Video on video on video.
Video on
homie.
video. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't be nearly as sassy in the comments, and you can't when your face is showing, you lose that aspect of anonymity. So those people who are hiding behind the anonymity of their accounts, that are using that anonymity to shield them from the stupid, rude, mean, belittling comments, they wouldn't have the balls to say those things if they had to show their face.
Absolutely.
And so it led to really, really good quality conversations that I think we've kind of moved away from with so many people on the platform. But yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is a special person that is bold enough to go on camera? Because I think the reality is that the majority of people are not comfortable being on camera, or they shy away from being on the camera. And there's a lot of people, they want to do faceless channels. They don't want to be on camera. What do you think it is that you have? I know Lefty talked about he always felt like he's the needed to be the center of attention. Are you an only child, Lefty?
I am not, but I was not a happy camper when my brother was born. I learned to love him when we hit double digits. No, I lied. I mean, I think my brother and I got off on the wrong foot in the first 5 years, and then and that's primarily due to me, because I was like, what the hell, man? Now this other kid's gonna take my limelight. But no, other than that, I've always had much love and respect for my brother. And you know, after the age of 5 is when we literally started, becoming closer. Then again, we're 2 years apart, so when I was 5, he was 3. But yeah.
I find that so in the world of entrepreneurs who are using platforms like YouTube to create content and build their brand awareness, right? In that world, I find that you can pretty much divide it into 2 groups. There's part-timers and full-timers. So the part-timers are those who have a side hustle. They're working another job. They're doing something to grow that side hustle into a full-time. But when you're in that category, you have to be careful about what your current employer sees. And so in that case, or you're still growing, so you're still finding your feet. So a faceless channel is a great idea for a lot of people. Or if they don't want to be the center of the brand. From a business perspective, if you're building a brand that you intend to sell, it's better to have a faceless channel than it is to put you as the center main character, because when you sell that brand and you're not going along with that sale, like you're not being sold with the package, you no longer are going to be involved with the brand once it's sold, then you can have a huge dip. That brand once sold could completely falter because the community was centered on the face and the center of attention.
Definitely.
But if another way to kind of bridge the gap in between faceless channels, like you can have avatars. I've been doing a lot of like animation little things I've been dabbling in. You can do, Lefty and I are going to do something. I just haven't written it yet. We're going to, or you could do avatars. You can have the snap filters on. You can create content specifically designed just to have like B-roll with a narration voice behind it. Or you could get like the computer voice to read out your script, whatever. But the way to bridge that in between being the personality and having the faceless content is to bring on other people and to build a collection of experts that come on and share. And that's what we've been doing on our Friday night show, for example. So I can't make it every Friday. So that's why we have 2 co-hosts, because we're able to balance. If one person can't make it, the other person will carry the show, and so on and so forth. And then we bring on our friends to add to that content as well. So interview shows, my friends, if you are feeling nervous about being the center of attention and you don't know what to say to fill in the entirety of your show or your episode or your piece of content, the best advice ever is to bring in experts, bring in people who you're learning with. If you're in a coaching program, bring that coach on and have a conversation. Bring in your peers, have a conversation about where you guys are right now. Mark already mentioned it, the Heroes 2 journeys. Talk about both of those, because even if you're not at the top of your mountain, having achieved that massive result that's going to be your highlight that people are going to look up to you for being that guy, the journey is just as important. How you're getting there, documenting that. I had a comment on my channel today, actually. Someone was watching a video about where we were talking about documenting your journey as an entrepreneur. And they're like, oh, I don't even know where to start or what to document in my journey. So with that, my friends, bring your people together, have a conversation, just talk about where you are, where you want to be, and ask for advice. And that creates great content as well.
And to follow what you said, and Mark, you mentioned something earlier too about like people being nervous to show up. And based on what Molly just said, I want to read this from the book here. We're jumping a page and it's the bottom paragraph, but it says, YouTube's origin story is the ultimate meta example of how to try, fail, analyze, and adjust to succeed on YouTube. So, what I gather from that, based on what you both said, is YouTube wasn't even perfect. And even this massive conglomerate, big broadcast machine that it is today is still not perfect. It's learning, it's growing, it's evolving. So don't be scared. Like don't be fearful. If you guys like I think the misconception that a lot of people have is when they click on a video, let's use me for an example, okay? They click on a Lefty video and they just see this and they're like, holy crap, that's intimidating. I don't know how the hell he looks like that, yada, 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 yada. But guys, I will gladly share with you my very first video. It looks nothing like this. Can I tell you, when I first recorded my very, very, very first video, and honestly, shame on me because I come from an audio engineering background, I didn't even know what the hell a shotgun mic was.
Okay, yep.
So
yep.
I was just taking whatever audio the camera was recording and popping it in and maybe like increasing the saturation a little bit. And I was filming the videos in my kitchen. So
okay, Lefty, Friday night, officially, bring your first video. I will bring mine and we will live react to our very first videos.
Done.
Because this week's theme
I want in on this.
Absolutely. Friday Night Live. Join us, 8 p.m. Eastern. Oh my goodness. Bring your first videos. We're going to react. This week's theme is just get started. Whether it's mindset stuff we talked about earlier this week, whether it's looking at just starting your video, because we all are in very nice places in our business and very nice places with our content creation, but we didn't start there. But we would never, ever be where we are right now if it wasn't for those first videos.
Absolutely.
So if you're hesitating at home and you're like, I want to create content, but I feel like I'm going to be judged, or I want to, you could be like me. You know my story, guys. I didn't want to tell my friends or family about my business until I hit $1 million. But for some reason, I thought that I could build that business in complete silence without telling anyone. It doesn't work that way. No. So you got to start somewhere. And we all cringe at those first videos. So this will be fun. It
was interesting. It was very, very interesting. I don't even know. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, I never feared what anybody was going to say. I never feared, like, I didn't even fear how it looked, right? Then again, I personally didn't even know better, so I couldn't even say if it was bad or not. But now I look back at it and I was like, what the hell was I thinking? but yeah, like just start your journey. Just get out there, just do it. I mean, like I'm not the firm believer or the guy that says like, oh, everybody needs a video marketer and you have to hire somebody or you're not going anywhere or da 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 da. Like, whether you work with me or Mark or Molly or anybody else, like at the end of the day, we still do what we do. Like, we love your business. We don't need it at the end of the day. We would like it. And that's how that's how I push my business forward, is just, if you want to fast track the results, hire a professional. But before you even look at the fast tracking portion of things, you got to just look back on the business as a whole. Okay. So the best example, and I'm sorry to say it, but you can't be selling $30,000 programs filming on your iPhone. That's where I stand on that front, right? Someone who's starting out, you're in the 1 to 5K range. You you could probably get away even up to 10K. But when you start getting to a certain stature in your business, you got to also look like what you sell. And I think that's where hiring a professional comes into play, right? Because you yourself, when you're doing 30, 40, 50, 100K months, you need to, like, your brand deserves to also look better, and you have the buying power to want to do bigger things. Now, if I want to go back to the iPhone situation, let's say you're a coach, like let's say you're a coach that wants to be on billboards, for example. And we've all seen those Apple things shot on iPhone 8 or whatever. What people don't know is that you cannot take your phone and just shoot that and blow it up to 300 feet and it's going to look beautiful on a billboard.
Oh,
I know, I'm sorry. What they don't lie about it being shot on an iPhone 8 or iPhone 9 or iPhone 10 when they're putting those commercials out. What they don't tell you in the fine print, which it should go like this: shot on iPhone 8 in $10 million studio.
Yeah.
Right? They're blasting so much light because these sensors cannot handle it. So they don't tell you the environment that they're shooting it on. They're just telling you that it's shot on the phone. And that's where us as buyers, consumers, are like, oh my God, the next iPhone is so amazing, I have to buy it. And then you take a picture and you're like, it doesn't look like that.
Yep.
Right? So think of that when you're creating your content moving forward. Are you in a position to get bigger, badder videos, or are you in a position where you feel like you want to fast track? Either way is fine, but do it for the brand, not even for your own ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think sometimes when people, like you said, people turn on that video and they see people like you, Lefty, and they say, wow, that's overwhelming. But I would say start where you are. Start where you are. And be who you are. And if you can't afford that equipment, you're a coach, focus your attention on results for your clients, because that's what your clients want. Your clients want results. And if you can get your clients results, then they'll be okay with you looking fuzzy on camera. But when you start serving a lot more people, then you have to start thinking about that. But don't let it intimidate you. And think, what if YouTube had never pivoted? What if Molly had never decided, okay, I can't make $1 million in my closet, I got to come out? Right?
Basically how it happened.
And what if Lefty had never came out and got over his bad videos in the beginning? And what if I had never got fired from my corporate job? We wouldn't be here. And today is a message, and this message is for someone out there is waiting to hear your message. I've gotten so much from our conversation today, and I'm thankful to both of you for sharing your experiences with me and together. Seriously.
Thank you.
I love this book club. Like,
this is
the
good
book club ever. Well, it is time to wrap up today's episode, or this week's episode of the book club. So, last words, my friends. Lefty, go first.
Last words, because I just saw these awesome, I guess, statistics. If you guys are looking to be on YouTube, do it now, because I literally just saw that people in the 1,000 subscriber range are only 10 million accounts. That sounds like a lot, but if you put it on a globe, the population of New York is 8.6 million people. So realistically, spread it worldwide. As you go up, the competition lessens. So, start now before 10 million accounts become 20 million accounts or become 30 million accounts. You have such an an awesome opportunity right now to build something beautiful, and people do want to hear what you have to say. Believe me, you think they don't, but they do. So just go all in, and please mix it up with long form and short form.
Heck yeah. Heck
Absolutely.
yeah. All right, Mark, what are your last words?
I ended last week with the very first words of the book. I want to skip a little bit of this chapter. Okay, it's chapter King. It's the first few words, and it says May 26th, 1980. That date will always be seared in my mind because something changed me that day, and I haven't been the same since. This chapter is about moments that change people. It's what I am most passionate about in my work, figuring out how our message or content can make the biggest impact on others. Someone out there is waiting for you to have that change. And believe me, you'll never be the same. And you're going to change so many other people's lives that they'll never be the same either. Those are my words.
Beautiful.
Heck yes. Heck yes. All right, my friends, you feel free to join us for our next episode of the book club, airing same bat time, same bat channel, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Feel free to join us here on screen if you want to join us, chat, share your input and your stories and experiences, or feel free to wake up with us and watch live on the Visibility Hackers YouTube channel, in the Visibility Hackers Facebook group, and probably even on my Facebook profile. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Feel free to join us Friday for Friday Night Live, 8 p.m. Eastern on those same channels as well. And you're going to want to come this week because we're going to show you some embarrassing things, but we're going to do it together so we don't feel so alone. Whew, I'm nervous for that one, but it'll be great.
I got to go dig out the archives now.
I'm going to show you guys video 1 from my personal channel. So like first video ever, as well as the visibility hacking ones, because there's a story there.
I'm going to have, you know what? Oh, Molly, you know what you should do? We should also take screenshots of and do like a before and after so we can have a side-by-side comparison.
Oh geez. Okay. Yep. We'll work on that.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna start talking like that now. Oh geez. Oh gosh.
Oh no.
The beautiful Canadian accent.
Yeah, watch out, Derry. All right, my friends, everyone say goodbye. Have a great day.